Welcome back, guys, to Rebel Rock. I am Dan. I'm your host. This is our weekly hangout. We talk about music. We pick up records, music-related stuff. Show you what I'm snagging up. Then in the comments, maybe you let me know what you're getting. Maybe some stuff in this pile, you're like, that's pretty cool. You saw last week, maybe you didn't. I had a bunch of credit, and I still have a bunch of credit from going through my house, trading in a bunch of stuff. I went through all my CD collection in the last 7-8 weeks, and I must have gotten rid of, I don't know, 400 CDs. Stuff that I no longer needed or wanted. So it felt good, and I got a bunch of credit out of it, so it worked out. Here's one of the first album that I got with the credit from my local media shop was this Flaming Lips Greatest Hits Volume 1. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't realize they released a hits collection. This has the songs that you would expect. Do You Realize? Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. Race for the Prize. Waiting for Superman. She Don't Use Jelly. So those are what you would expect. Very cool. I love Flaming Lips, especially the middle period, I guess. The early stuff I didn't love. The most recent stuff I haven't loved. But middle stuff is really, really good stuff. So we got this. I'm happy. It's the first Flaming Lips record, because I don't have any. I couldn't believe I found this for like $8. I've been looking for this for a while. Chris Bell was in the power pop band Big Star with Alex Chilton, and this is his I guess his only solo record after Big Star. He left, I think, after the second album, or maybe the first. He's part of the second, but either way, he was out of the group. He went to do this, and fantastic stuff. Really solid power pop record. Died really young too, so it was kind of sad. I've been listening to a bunch of these guys lately, and this is Deaf Heaven. So are you familiar? Some of you might be. Deaf Heaven is a shoegaze black metal band. And this was like their big breakout album. This is technically their second album, but this is the one that kind of blew them up. And we have a reissue right here. They just put this out recently, 10th anniversary. You wouldn't think that black metal and shoegaze would work together, but this is fantastic. It really does, and it like trances you. At first, you're like, what am I listening to? I don't even understand what I'm listening to. And then all of a sudden it starts to make sense. After the third, fourth listen, you're like, all right, I'm hearing where these melodies are happening, where the breaks are happening. It's clever. It really is some clever stuff. And the drumming on it, wow. Blast beats for days. Another metal band, well, kind of, I guess. It's kind of a stoner rock, kind of glam influences. They got a lot of influences. And this is Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. This is the Wasteland album, which is really good. I just love that art too. Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. I guess if I've always thought of them as if Black Sabbath and the Beatles and T-Rex kind of hung out together and made an album together, it would kind of sound like Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. UK band, bunch of albums, all really good. Happy to have that one. There's this label. Where is it here? This is Reminder Records, I do believe. And there's this fella. He tracks down these like hidden kind of 70s power pop punk albums that maybe an artist did and never got released, or it got released and 500 copies exist. So he goes and finds these bands and reissues like full-on releases for them, which I think is so cool. This is a band called Wowie, And I want to say this might have been a New York City band, but just great, great power pop, punky stuff. Late 70s, early 80s, from what I'm gathering. I sampled a few tracks on Spotify and I was like, yeah, I need to have this. So Reminder Records, super awesome. Their whole catalog is full of stuff like this cool, obscure power pop stuff. Awesome. I did a fake fanzine back, I guess it was back when I was like 20, 21, just so I could get on promo lists from all the labels. And it worked, believe it or not. I had a webzine, and I don't think anyone ever went to it, and my writing is absolute shit. But I used to get all these promos, and this is a promo from Big Neck Records that I got years ago that I fell in love with, but I had to have it on vinyl. I had it on CD. This is The Lost Sounds. This is their first album, Memphis is Dead. And it was a 3-piece. You had a keyboard player, a guitarist, and a drummer. And it had Jay Retard was a guitar player, and obviously he's no longer with us, but they made a couple albums, and wow, really good dark garage, synth heavy. It's tasty. It's really, really good stuff. It shouldn't work, but it does. So I'm happy to have this. It's on white vinyl too, which is sexy. Lost Sounds. Check them out. Credit Money I didn't have So Alone. I had it on CD, but now I have the vinyl version. Johnny Thunder's debut solo album. So good. I didn't have this Suicide album. I have the first Suicide album. I don't think I realized there was a second Suicide album. I always thought it was just the first album and that was kind of it. But I was wrong. If you're not familiar with Suicide, it's a 2-piece electronic group. The one member would play keyboard and had like built-in drum machine into the keyboard, and the other one would just sing. And notorious for swinging chains around, and you know, the legacy and the myths. Who knows what's real? But pretty awesome, really punky stuff. Would have been mid to late 70s New York City scene. So it would have been right in the mix with all that other stuff. Last month, last couple months, I went to shows, actually. I went and saw the Uni Boys. I drove 3 hours, and they played in front of 30 people, and it was awesome. This is their it's not their first album. I guess it's their first real album. Power pop stuff, LA band. Really, really good. Timeless power pop punk stuff. I had to sign it. I nerded out. It was, you know, my brother-in-law was at the show with me, and he's like, "That was weird, man. That was really weird what you just did." I'm like, "What? I can't tell these guys that I love them." I think it's important, you know, if a band comes from California to play in your area in front of 30 people, you better thank them and really appreciate them, because that could be it right there. So good. Check out the Uni Boys. I've been hyping them up. No one's listening to me. Whatever. The last one for this episode. Oh, man. The Stitches from LA. Orange County. Punk rock. Snotty, bratty, abrasive. The Stitches are awesome. They're still around today playing. They haven't released any new music in a long time, but this is kind of like was their first kind of big album that everyone kind of had to have. Got the picture disc now. I had the CD back in the day, so we're happy about that. That's what we got. That's the haul this week, guys. Let me know in the comments, where are you coming from? You got a channel, you collect vinyl as well. I'd love to hear from you. It's always good. Doing my best over here. Till next time, guys, do what you do. Toodaloo.